Right then, so first things first this morning, I'm going to do a random tram journey now. So I've just taken a little look at the tram map of Riga and Googled the various end of the line places, and I chose a place called, I apologise now to Latvian speakers if I'm saying this all wrong, but Milgravis. I don't know if that's an interesting place or what it is, but on Google it looked the most interesting, with the exception of Mesoparks, which I've been to before, so I won't take the tram that goes there. So armed with my Riga bus pass and tram pass, I'm going to go to Milgravis now, and I'll do exactly the same tomorrow. I'll find the bus routes of Riga and choose somewhere at the end of the line and see where we end up. And then the day after that I shall do one with the trolley bus, and let's see if anywhere interesting is found. So Milgravis, here we come, tram number 5, and I'm just heading down to the National Opera where you can pick up the trams. It's a good place to head to if you're in Old Riga. It's probably the nearest point to pick up a tram. Yeah, one market stall this morning. There's usually a few more than that, I think. The National Opera House of Latvia, or the Latvian National Opera House, whichever you prefer. And tram stops are just down here. There's one or two different ones, so I'm just going to have to search around just for a moment just to find out which is the correct one. So going in the direction I want, number 5. Milgravis. Oh my word. Right, this could be very random. And there we have the National Opera. And I believe this is number 5 tram. Heading in the direction I want to go. It's not always easy to work out which side of the road you should be on. So trams and trains run like the cars on the different side of the road to they do in the UK. So this is number 5 tram. Hopefully it's going to where I want to go to. It's got it on the front, so what's the worst that can happen? I have to get on another one. Right, success. This tram is going to Milgravis, and once again apologies for any terrible pronunciations. we're almost in Milgravis now, or Milgravis, however that is pronounced. Please tell me I said it right. I've got absolutely no idea what's here, so it might be a very quick visit if there's not much around. It's just like the end of a line in a suburb, but hopefully there'll be something of interest to look at once I get off the tram. Next but one stop, we're just for all you Latvians, saying it Tvaika Ayala. How did I do that? Well, welcome to Milgravis. That seemed to be how it was pronounced on the PA system. And Iella rather than Ayala, I noticed as well. Now then, this tram here just goes around in a big circle and heads back from whence it came. Don't know how long it sits here for. But when I was looking at the end of the line and chose this place, rather just randomly, when you just put it into Google to go to Milgravis, it offered you other options, and those options being buses. When you put in tram number 5, it then showed a bit of a walk. So I'm just going to have a look at that now, because the tram appears to stop short of where Google sends you to when you ask for Milgravis. So, and the buses would take you slightly further. So I'm going to have a look at that now and then head in that direction just to see what there is. But it looks like docks to me. Looks like there's going to be, we're fairly close to the sea here. I can see some boats down there. And I'm just going to see in which direction to walk now to get to the end of the line. Looks like the tram is about to depart. So for all you tram fans, let's watch her do a full 360 and go back from where she came. Tram number 5, one of my favourites. Nice wave from the driver. Okay, right, looking on the map, the place that's defined as Milgravis appears to be a park or a grassy area. It seems to be to the north of the Mesoparks, so I'm wondering if I walk to this, if I can maybe walk back through there, through Mesoparks and back to the tram stop at the south end of Mesoparks. I'm going to weigh this up. It says it's 29 minutes to walk from here, so I shall head off in this direction, see what I see on the way, and maybe take a little stroll through Mesoparks as well, if indeed that's feasible. I'll have a look once I get down here. This is quite an industrial part of Riga, seems to be fairly close to the docks, and not much to report, so I'll come back when I find something of interest. I guess that barrier there comes down if there's going to be any train movements, because that car certainly didn't seem to want to slow down to make sure nothing was coming. Half barrier. Yeah, I guess they'll be brought down if any trains are going to come along. Just seems to be mostly a fairly quiet neighbourhood. Some old ramshackle buildings and some quite new modern ones, so a bit of everything really. It's fairly quiet though out here. Right, just crossed over the railway line now. Seems to be a bit of engineering work going on there. And back onto a busy main road. I think I came past Mego on the tram earlier on, so I'm not sure what's going on here unless that's a different one. Right, so I've worked it out. Milgravis then. Yeah, it's the end of a tram line. And it's the end of a tram line in a relatively industrial part of the city, fairly close to the docks. However, there also appears to be a park called Milgravis, which is where Google is now directing me, so that's great. So I'm going to walk the rest of the way to there. Now that appears to be connected to the northern end of Meza Parks, which I've been to before, and they are fantastic. So that will be the walk. Now I know for sure that I'm going to walk back through this park and then Meza Parks and head back to the tram stop at the south end of Meza Parks and head back into Old Riga. Should be quite a decent walk by the end of it. There you go. Unleaded, €1.66. Pretty standard price across Europe, I should think. And strangely, diesel $1.62. So, unlike the UK, diesel is slightly cheaper than unleaded. And in fact, that always seems to be the case just about more or less everywhere apart from the UK for some strange reason. Anyway, probably not much to see now for the next kilometre until I reach the park. I'll come back to you then. I thought I'd come past here on the tram actually, but maybe not. Maybe the other side of that. There's no tram line now. Oh well. Right, well, this is where Google Maps are sending me. Now, this is always an interesting thing I find with Europe. I suppose if you know, you know. But this is the entrance to a golf course with signs saying no dogs, no cycling, no swimming. Doesn't mention no walking. There's no sign to say it is a public space. And also there's no sign to say it isn't. So, but it would, the way it's just set up and the entrance, you would tend to think that unless you're coming here to play golf, you shouldn't be coming in. But it has sent me in here. So unless someone asks me to leave, I shall carry on through. Very quiet, not many people playing golf this morning. Saying that, I always think golf is a sport that really ought to be played in nice sunny weather wearing shorts and a t-shirt. And it is not that today. Well, Google Maps are quite specific about their routing here, or routing. Hello. See, I've been stopped here by somebody now. Nice one, Google. So, yeah, very nice gentleman just pointed out to me that this isn't really a public footpath, as I suspected when I walked in here. But he said I was okay to walk around, have a look around and so on. But it doesn't take you through to Meza Park, so there we go. Having said that, Google Maps wasn't actually trying to send me to Meza Parks. It was just sending me to this park, and it appears that they join on to each other. However, that's the distance over there. That is Meza Parks. So I'm going to go there anyway. but I'm going to have to go back to the main road that I've just walked along and enter the park further down to the left as we're walking now. So I'll come back to you when we reach there. Right, so not really much to see now for the next 2 kilometres. So essentially just walk back down this road and take a left turn further along, and that will take us into the north end of Mesopark. So I'm going to walk right the way through the length of there, back out to the south end. Now just coming up here, just past it going in the other direction, is a Rimi. They're the sort of Tesco's of Latvia, and you see the bigger ones on the outskirts of the towns, like this one coming up here, like a mega store if you like, and sort of medium-sized versions in the towns, and lots of Rimi Expresses. So they're one of the main supermarkets here, and I'm going to pop in now and buy something sweet to eat and hopefully a coffee, as it's quite a chilly morning, and then I'll come back to you when I've reached the north end of Mesoparks. Right, back from whence we came. In fact, I can see the guys doing the engineering work on the railway line over there, so I'm almost back to where I walked in from over there on the right. That's what I love about these random tram or bus journeys, just picking a place out and seeing where you end up. You invariably end up doubling back or thinking to yourself, maybe you should have chosen the other place, but yeah, you just go with it. Just go with it as you find out what's happening. And sometimes you come across some amazing places. As it happens, I know what Mesoparks are like, so I'm going to take that route back to the tram stop there, and then jump on a ride back into Old Riga. So right, I'm going to drink this coffee. I'll warm myself up now, going in that shop, and press on, see what we can see in the park today. Wow, I needed that coffee. That's put some warmth inside me, which is just what I needed. Right, so this effectively is the beginning of Mesoparks at the north end, and there's a little sign there that says Centres 9, so I'm presuming that means the centre of Riga, and 9 kilometres, so what's that, just over 5.5 miles? Yeah. Just going to have a look now to see how far it would be back to my accommodation in the centre of Riga. I thought it'd be further than that actually, but I shall have a look now. No, that's right. That is 9 kilometres will take you into the centre of the city. If you were to walk all the way from here. However, my intention is to take in this fabulous park and jump on the tram. Although one thing I did notice when I was just quickly looking at Google Maps, the tram tracks for the last quarter of half a kilometre or so were all in red, so they might be up at the moment and those trams might not be running, so we'll see. I'll get to the other end of the park and see what options are available. Beauty of having a pass is, of course, you can just jump on anything you like, see where it takes you to. I think I did walk to this far end of the park once before. I got to about here and then turn around and walk back again. It's not a huge park, but it's certainly plenty of room for cycling and running and exploring in the woods and so on. And I think the edge of that golf course would have been just over there somewhere. As As you may see from the sign there is also a zoo here. I think it's open this time of year. I didn't see that it wasn't. There's a few of these green portaloos dotted about in the park. I'd reserve those for absolute emergencies, if you get my drift. That's the very tail end of the winter snow still sat there where they've scooped it up to the side of the road. And to take a left-hand turn here down to the waterfront. Where we are, if you see where it says WC and there's a cycle and a flag with number 3, we've just gone past that, and the little pathway veering off to the right there is this pathway here to the left as I'm walking, and this will take us round down towards the water, which when I went before was absolutely stunning. There's if you like mountain biking and careering around up and down little hills on bikes, then down here and through these trees is absolutely ideal. There are quite a few signs saying not to do it, but I believe there are areas where it's perfectly okay to do it. And I think I saw people doing it in places where you're not supposed to either. So, right, let's carry on down here. So, we've reached where the flag with number 2 on it is and the red dot. I'm going to keep on a straight line, which is the road or pathway off to the right there, which brings us out to the waterfront. It's quite nice. There's a kind of a beach down there. There's a cafe, places to take picnics, picnic tables, barbecues, I think as well, or places to put your barbecue. And then there is an actual cafe or restaurant just there. I've never been when that boat's been operating though, but I guess that's just a summer thing. But firstly, I'm just going to have a little look at this. Looks to be a place where you come and get some wedding photographs taken. Looking at that. It's quite a nice spot. It's a beautiful place just here in the park. It's really kept nice. Must be badgers about as well. I'm not sure what that sign actually says, but it's probably something along the lines of don't feed the badgers or leave food for badgers. Quite right too. Okay, let's walk down to the waterfront. Okay, down to the lake. there is a very cold breeze blowing off that water. Let me tell you, refrigeration is a real thing here. Okay, first and foremost, my humblest apologies to all Latvian speakers. But this lake is called Kishezers. Kishezers. And I know that I've probably got that completely and utterly wrong. 1,700 hectares in size. It's fed by a river, the name of which the river that comes through Riga. Its deepest point is 4.2 metres deep, so it's not a very deep lake. And its average depth is 2.4, according to Wikipedia, which of course is where we all go. Now, that looks like a beautiful sandy beach, but trust me, you wouldn't want to be on there in your swimming trunks today. It is hat and scarf weather. Slightly polluted as well, if you see the foam washing up there. A little sad to see things like that, but I don't think on the whole it's too bad here. Now then, this tree's fallen over and they haven't chopped it down yet, so you have to kind of clamber over. Someone's written Minecraft on the bit of wood. It's nice sand. I wonder if it's presumably it's imported and put here. I can't imagine it's, although if you look at the hillside it's quite sandy hills, so perhaps it is. Yeah, I think it probably is actually. Okay, just up the top of the hill is a more defined pathway that you could cycle along. And then down here, close to the water's edge, it's this pathway here, which is not so easy to navigate. It's okay at the moment, but I would think in the depths of winter it could be quite a lot of snow down along this path, and also it looks like the height of the lake increases from time to time, so it might well come up and over this part. The level's a bit lower than this at the moment, but yeah, so you can walk down here, which is very, very quiet. I've been walking along here for about 30 minutes now. And just saw a couple of guys walking in the opposite direction. A few more up on the pathway up the top. Make that 3 people I've seen. I always get slightly concerned when I go along pathways where you don't see anybody at all, because you tend to start thinking you're going to end up at a dead end and have to walk back in the opposite direction for miles on end. But according to the map, this doesn't show on Google Maps at all, and it doesn't really show it as such on the maps in the park. Well, that's quite clearly defined pathway to walk along. But what is always useful, if somebody jogs past you in the direction you're going, or comes from the other direction, normally indicates that it's an actual route to and from somewhere. So that's happened, so that's ticked the boxes for this little walk. Yes, we're coming along now to the pier that sticks out. I believe there's boat trips from there during the summertime. Pleasure boat rides around the lake. A bit early in the season for anything like that at the moment, and from memory there's A little cafe there too, which may or may not be open. It's a Saturday morning, so there's a fair chance it will be, I guess. It really is a nice place to take a stroll. I get a feeling something will be open here. I can hear music playing. There's plenty of places for you to bring a picnic, tables to sit at. And in summer, sit on the beach and go in the water, have a swim. That wonderful sound, the sound of waves just lapping up. Okay, so I just asked a local, G-shezes. So if there are any Latvians watching this, how did I do there? And yeah, I'm not going to ask how you pronounce that. G-shezes. So the K sounds a bit like a G or a Z, a D and a G put together. Right, let's go and see who's playing this music. Time to get the translator out. I understand that one though. That's soup, €5 for soup. Coffees, €3. Cappuccino, $3.50. Burger, 12. Yeah, it's not too bad. And I like the sheepskin rugs that you can sit underneath if you sit outside. And trust me, if you sat outside here today, you most definitely would need those. Well, the cafe here is certainly open for business. I imagine this is fired up in summertime and cooking sausages and so on outside, barbecuing. And just by the look of the number of tables here, I expect this place gets absolutely ram solid in summertime, people eating out. It's a really, really good place. Just a little bit on the cold for sitting outside today. Right, onwards. It's quite a strange language at times, Latvian. I've not really looked at it too closely, I'm embarrassed to say, but quite often a lot of the words are quite obvious what they are, and others just completely no way. Here's another one of the portaloos. Going straight past that. I was just talking to one of the locals, and they said, "Have I seen the giant squirrel?" I said, "Giant squirrel?" I said, "Yeah, there's a giant squirrel here in Riga Park." Oh, I've looked, I've not seen a single squirrel, let alone a giant one. No, mustn't be the time of year for them. We're now back on the main thoroughfare, if you like, from the south end of the park, and it's quite quiet this morning actually. It's not the best of days, it's also begun to just started to rain a little bit, so it's not the perfect day for walking outside, but it's still not too bad. Just at the end of there, to the left, is the Riga Zoo, and there's also one or two other facilities down at the entrance, such as a cafe or restaurant, some public toilets, proper ones, and well, we shall see shortly, but there should also be a tram stop. Looking at Google Maps, as I said earlier on, it looks like the track might be up there at the moment, but we'll have a look, see if I can get a tram back into Old Riga. If not, I'll just walk down the road until I find somewhere where there's a bus stop, a trolley bus stop or a tram stop, and get back into the city that way. Hope you've enjoyed this random tram ride, which has ultimately ended up in the place that I was originally trying to avoid coming to, because I've been before. But that's how it is sometimes with these things. All I can say is that if you randomly go to places in cities or towns anywhere in the world, just make sure you do it safely. I mean, there is the potential, of course, to end up somewhere a little sketchy, but it's a Saturday morning and Riga's a pretty safe city on the whole. So I had no concerns as far as that was concerned. But if somewhere looks a bit iffy, I'll stay on the tram or the bus or whatever, keep going and go back to where you came from, just to be on the safe side. But no, it's a very safe, it's very clean, and very pleasant place to be. And tomorrow I shall try the same thing with the bus. Right, so here's another little rundown of the public transport here in Riga. You've got your trams, buses and trolley buses, and you can buy a ticket for those. Cost you, as I've mentioned previously, €2 to come each way from the airport into the city and back. That's the number 22 bus. Everywhere else you can buy a 90-minute ticket, which you can jump on any tram, bus or trolley bus to get you from A to B within 90 minutes. Basically, when you buy the ticket from a machine or one of the Narvesen shops, when you get on the bus you must validate it on the little validator, and that's when your 90 minutes starts, or when your journey starts. Likewise, if you buy a 3-day or 5-day ticket, then you must also validate it as you get on the bus, although you've got unlimited amount of time and journeys for that period. So it's 3 days, including the first day you use it, the next day, and then for however long you use it up until the end of the day on the third day. Same with the 5 day. But you must validate it each time you get on the bus or tram or trolley bus. Just because you've got a pass doesn't mean you can just get on and not tap in. And that's it. You just get on and do that. But don't forget to validate your ticket, because if an inspector gets on, you will get fined. There is also an app for the buses, trams and trolley buses. But I had a quick look at that. It's really only suitable if you're going to be here for a prolonged length of time or live here, and you have a rudimentary knowledge of Latvian as well. I didn't really see it translated into any other languages, maybe Russian, but that was about it, I think, if memory serves me right. And if you go on the trains, they're not included in any passes. They're a separate entity altogether. You just buy a ticket at the station for the destination you wish to go to. You can also buy a ticket from the conductor on board the train, on the local blue and yellow ones. Right, that's it. This is the entrance to Mesa Parks. There's the zoo there, which does look like it is open today. You can see somebody just going in. Here's the restaurant I mentioned, and you can walk off in a number of different directions from here. And some public toilets, real ones. So let's try and get back into Old Riga now, see what the situation is. There are people stood at the tram stops just over there, so I'm hoping that Google's wrong. That would be a first, wouldn't it? Google being wrong. That's beer, I presume. Different beers, 4.50 and 5.50. If that's for a pint. Oh yeah, one other thing I forgot to mention was you can, additional to the other bits and pieces at the entrance here, you can hire these little go-karts, bikes, scooters and stuff like that from the shop there, which could be a fun way of spending a few hours, particularly if you've got some kids with you, or you know, you come here and you haven't got your own bike. So that's always worth bearing in mind. Just looking down there does seem to be some sort of works going on. But not necessarily to the tram tracks right at this end. But yeah, no, the tram tracks are out of action. I can see there's things in the way there. Okay, I'm going to go to Google, see what Google tells me to do from here. There might be running buses up here instead. Right, so here we have it. It's a replacement bus service. It's tram line number 11, and it's 11T for tram. And there should be one coming along any second now. Here we go. Yeah, they've completely tarmacked over the tram line just here, which normally goes down the end there, turns round on a big turning circle and comes back again. I don't know if that's been abandoned forever, but yeah, still not to worry. That bus goes in 2 minutes, so we'll take a ride back to the centre of Riga, and that's it for today. Tomorrow will be a random bus journey, so I'm going to go back now and have a look and see where you can get to in this city. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. Ah, see what they've done now. They've just tarmacked over temporarily, I think, just to make a walkway to the road where the bus is going to stop until the works on the tramways complete. Obviously, everyone's going to trip over that, aren't they? And put a claim into the local authority for injuries, etc. Anyway, here it comes, 11T. Back to somewhere. I'll get on and see where it takes me.